Every morning, same lie. You tell yourself, today I'll make the perfect piece of content. By evening, the blank screen is still there. You've been paralyzed for hours, scrolling through other people's flawless work, a little voice in your head whispering, yours will never be that good. I'm Richter, and here at The Creator's Mind, we don't just talk about creative block. We dissect the brutal psychological lies behind it. And I've been exactly where you are, stuck in a prison of my own making. I used to believe perfection was the goal, that every piece of content had to be a masterpiece. The only thing that got me was burnout, procrastination, and a hard lesson in humility. What I discovered about the paradox of perfection didn't just change my content, it transformed my entire creative life. And I'm about to prove that your desire for perfection is the single biggest lie keeping you from creating at all. Here at The Creator's Mind, we study the brutal psychology behind creator success, not the fluffy motivation stuff, the raw data. I've analyzed thousands of creators, and the one thing that separates the top 1% from everyone else is their relationship with failure. Most creators believe perfection is the goal, but that's what keeps them mediocre. They're too afraid to put something out into the world that isn't perfect. Today, I'm sharing the 3 psychological truths about perfectionism that will finally set your creativity free. But fair warning, this isn't comfortable, it's necessary. Truth number 1, the paradox effect. The first brutal truth is what I call the paradox of perfection. The pursuit of a flawless ideal leads to total inaction. You spend hours planning, researching, and agonizing over the smallest details, believing this process is productive, but it's not. It's just a sophisticated form of procrastination. You're not trying to make it better. You're trying to avoid the terror of it being judged as not good enough. Most creators think this detailed planning is what separates them from the amateurs, but the reality is that it's what keeps them stuck. I learned this the hard way. I once spent 3 weeks outlining a video script, only to scrap the entire thing because I felt it wasn't unique enough. The solution? Focus on completion, not perfection. Your goal is not to create a masterpiece. It's to create, period. It's simple but not easy. Here's a practical exercise I've used myself. The ugly first draft method. Don't let yourself edit or correct anything while you're creating the first version. Your only mission is to get it out of your head and onto the page. For a video script, just ramble. Talk to a camera with no plan. The goal is to generate material, not a final product. This initial chaos is where the real ideas live. You can always go back and refine it, but you can't refine a blank page. The simple act of releasing that pressure to be perfect in the first step is the single most powerful shift you can make. The moment you embrace a good enough mindset, the blank page disappears. Truth number 2, imposter syndrome's best friend. The second truth is that perfectionism is the biggest enabler of imposter syndrome. You've heard about it, but you don't know where it really comes from. It's a psychological trick your brain plays on you. It tells you, if you can't be perfect, you're a fraud. Your fear of being found out as an amateur makes you obsess over every detail, every word, every edit. The voice in your head says, if it's perfect, they can't call you a fake. Most creators think imposter syndrome is a sign they're not ready, but it's actually a sign you're on the verge of a breakthrough. You're about to do something real, and your fear is the last line of defense. I went through this exact same thing. My first videos felt like a joke. They weren't perfect, but they were real. And that realness is what started to connect with people. Perfectionism kills connection. It makes your work feel sterile and distant. The only way to beat imposter syndrome is to publish the imperfect thing. Think about your favorite creators. They don't sound like they're reading from a teleprompter, do they? They stumble on their words, they make awkward jokes, they get personal. These are the things that make them human. They show you their flaws and you connect with them because of it, not in spite of it. Perfectionism creates a wall between you and your audience. It makes you feel untouchable and unrelatable. You're not trying to be a robot, you're trying to be human. Your audience doesn't want flawless, they want real. They want a connection, and that connection is built on shared vulnerability. Truth number 3, the dark side of self-correction. The third truth is about the most dangerous addiction of a creator, the dark side of self-correction. You're always trying to improve your content, but it's a vicious cycle. You make a video, you see a flaw, you try to fix it, but that flaw is often what makes it unique. You get trapped in an endless loop of tweaking, editing, and second-guessing, convincing yourself that your work isn't finished. The reality is, no creative work is ever finished. It's just abandoned. I learned this when I spent 2 extra days trying to re-record a voiceover because I didn't like how a single word sounded. I wasted 48 hours to fix something nobody but me would have noticed. The truth is, the audience doesn't care about a minor flaw. They care about your message and your authenticity. The solution? Adopt the good enough method. Your job isn't to create a flawless masterpiece. It's to get your message out to the world. A finished, imperfect piece of content is infinitely more valuable than a perfect one that never sees the light of day. You're at a crossroads. You can keep doing what everyone else does, chasing a flawless ideal that will forever be just out of reach. Or you can embrace what I call the creator's paradox. This is the treasure most people never find because they quit before they get here. The creator's paradox is this: your imperfections are your superpower. Your raw, unpolished voice is what makes you unique. When you understand this, everything changes. You don't aim for perfection, you aim for authenticity. You don't see mistakes as failures, you see them as proof of your humanity. This is the ultimate creative freedom, where your flaws become the foundation of your success. With this new understanding, your creation process completely transforms. Instead of wasting hours on a single edit, you release your work. Instead of agonizing over every flaw, you embrace the realness. This is exactly what we teach at The Creator's Mind, the practical psychology that actually works. You are no longer creating content hoping it works. You're creating content that connects because it comes from a place of truth, not a place of paralyzing fear. The only thing standing between you and your next big breakthrough isn't a lack of talent. It's your obsession with perfection. Your creative journey will never be the same. You now see content creation for what it really is: human psychology in action. This mindset shift separates successful creators from the struggling masses. If this resonated with you, here's what to do next. Like this video if it changed your perspective. Subscribe to The Creator's Mind for more psychological insights that actually work, and drop a comment telling me which truth hit you the hardest. I'm Richter, and I'll see you in the next video, where we dive even deeper.